All right, I fixed the audio. Good morning, everyone. Um, okay. I did earlier in the Discord. I just went long on Q's. We'll see if it holds the pivot here. If it doesn't, then I'll just cut it. I'm already green on it. I caught the bottom of that wick. Okay. Let's go over and briefly look at the events today. Let's take a quick look. Really nothing. We had non-farm payrolls earlier this morning. Unemployment rate, um, nothing too spectacular. Earnings, we had Toyota and Under Armour were really the only ones I was looking at. Whoa, I spelled that wrong. It's TM, I think. Yes, the Toyota's up 2.4. I think that could come back down and fill this gap, honestly. If you guys have any questions or want me to chart out anything, go ahead and just type it in the YouTube chat and I will look over them. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Okay. Under Armour, obviously. Yeah, 8%. Geez, that's a big move. That actually looks like it's been on a nice steady, yeah, it's actually had a really nice steady climb over the past few weeks. Yeah, this is a good one. Honestly, it might be worth going into. I haven't looked at the financials, but definitely worth looking at later today. Okay. Let's go back to the NASDAQ. I feel like we have another high of day coming for us. We shall see, we shall see. Still within the opening range. Of course, you wouldn't want to take any really heavy, solid position until we break out of the opening range. Yeah, I think, well, it's crucial that we hold above 600 today, obviously. Crypto had a really nice bounce overnight. I'm not going to go on too much about it because it did suffer a really bad drop yesterday. I will say that if you guys follow me on X, you would have seen that I caught the Solana dip last night perfectly. Literally around 68.50 is where I got in, like in this area here. So really did catch that one very nicely. That is not that's not the bottom. That is not the bottom for crypto. Okay. KMI. Let's take a look at KMI. So far this morning, I got a nice 20% trim in this morning. The calls are in the money. It did dip, but the calls are back in the money. We need a break above high of day opening range and above the R1 pivot to send us to preferably R2 pivot. It's about a percent move up, very doable. I like it. I still like it today. I'd play it again if I weren't already in calls. The other one is Macy's from earlier this week. Macy's had another nice move up. Calls went in the money this morning. MPT, I believe, is still green as well. Yep, those calls are still sitting at 0.31. That's almost up 100% from my entry earlier this week. The other one is Kenvu. Kenvu is also back up to 15, 0.15 a con, which is good. What else? We entered Craft yesterday as well. These are also in the money. Calls hit 21 this morning, or 22, I believe. Let me check and see. Um, Calls hit 0.28 this morning. I don't know how accurate that is. I'm not sure if anybody was able to trim, but it actually looks like it was more solid at 0.25. Um, oh, sorry, I took the trim on KHC, not KMI. I'm still waiting for a KMI move up. Let's go back to the NASDAQ real quick. Okay, I think it could be worth adding to longs here. Let's take a look. Uh, 607. Might be worth adding one here. It's 607 QQQ calls at like 0.66. It's really light. It's still more of a lottery here. Only because I have the gut feeling that we make another high of day. Oh, nice, 6.4. Okay, yeah. So like I said, I think we may hit another high of day. We'll see. It's still early. Let's go back over to KMI. Let-in supervisors on UA. Yeah, I think that's what's partially pushing this up. Gold steady, nice climb overnight. Yeah, so did I think silver also is climbing. Well, yeah, I mean it climbed from its low. It dropped down to 60, 64, I think. What a crazy pullback. Yeah, it went down 64. I mean, we hadn't seen that price since like early or mid-December. Um, so yeah, I mean, let's check out gold though. I think gold having similar bounce. Yeah, gold had a similar bounce. Let's see what else you guys has. Okay, let's go back over to the NASDAQ. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, if we break below the lower range here, the opening range, then it would invalidate a potential move up to high of day. So okay. Let's look at SPY. The S&P is actually holding up better than the Nasdaq right now, and I think that's partially due to not Nvidia. I think it's due to Tesla. No, Tesla's actually green. Um, those TSLL calls that I entered yesterday, if you remember, those are up nicely today. I was able to trim a little bit more this morning, um, but they did reach 1.5 this morning. Those calls from yesterday. Um, IBIT is also up 7% today, but that's the 7% up is back to basically what break even was yesterday um, for our entry. So really nothing too special there. Let's take a look at Hood. Hood was having a massive morning so far. Yeah, it's still up 10%. Back to where I said I bought a few shares, was it 2 days ago? Um, it's just really volatile. So Google down. Yeah, Google's down and so is Amazon. Um, I mean, it did make a low yesterday, and Google did end the day green yesterday, I believe, barely after it came back from gapping down from its earnings. Um, but the one that I think is actually a nice buy is the Amazon dip because Amazon's still above 200. The yesterday after earnings it dropped to 198, and so far it seems to be holding 200 for now. Any Hood options plays before earnings we think the Hood reversal is sustainable. This goes back to what I was saying yesterday morning about Hood owning too much Bitcoin. I think we go below like this whole move? Let me see. I don't think we go below 65 at all. Like if it drops more, it won't go below 65. That's my opinion. The momentum down is pretty strong right now, but I would not expect this one to go any further down uh, than 65. So for me at least, because I did add some at 80 and then I added more at 75. They I'm personally adding within this like 65, 67 to $80 range. Because I think it'll eventually hit new highs. The other one, but yeah, this goes back to what I was saying yesterday about Hood owning too much Bitcoin. They do own way too much Bitcoin. It needs to be fixed. Are we still in ISPC? Yeah, ISPC is it's back up to 42. I think. Yep, 0.42. Hit 0.43 earlier this morning. What do you think Ondas? What do you think about Ondas calls today? Let me look at the Ondas. I have not taken a look at the Ondas chart yet. By the way, those Q's calls are green again. The Nasdaq's having a nice bounce right now. So, like I said, we would need to from here. We need to break this pivot, break the previous day high, and head back and make a new high of day. Sorry, going back to Ondas. Ondas is outside its opening range now. The 5 minute, the big spot to watch though, however, is there's a chance we could climb another 50 cents. So like if you want to take a shot at the $9 calls, that could be worth it, especially with the momentum right now, and MACD is also confirming it. 950, 953 would be yesterday's high. If you want to play into this momentum, that actually could be a really nice play. Ondas is up 7% right now. Ondas 12, 13, 14, 15% days are not out of the picture at all. They move pretty crazy. So yeah, I think Ondas you could play into this momentum here if you wanna go with the break. KMI making a move. Let me take a look at KMI again. Uh, KMI is back up again. Yes, the calls are still in the money. Like I said, I need a bigger breakout here. We need a bigger breakout to take some trims. Let's take a look back over at KHC. Well, I got a trim in this one already. So if we do drop like below back, if these calls go out of the money again, then it probably would be worth cutting these. But it's fine because I already took a trim on these this morning. You feel like 0.5 retracement isn't far enough in Bitcoin? No, I don't feel like it's far enough. I feel like Bitcoin has more down to go. Um, just my opinion. But I mean, we're back up to 68. That's already a fantastic bounce from what we dropped to 60 yesterday. I mean, from a percentage standpoint, that's already up 14%. That's a crazy move already. This is, by the way, back when I started trading, I did not trade crypto as much. Over the last couple of years, I shit on Bitcoin a lot. But I do trade crypto occasionally. I mean, I have a whole section for it, obviously, in my Discord. So I I do trade it. I do trade crypto. I don't entirely hate it. I think there's opportunity there in some ways. But Bitcoin, I feel like Bitcoin has further down to go. In relation to Bitcoin and Ethereum, BMNR had that drop down to 7. Remember yesterday morning I said that we could drop as far as like 17. I mean, we didn't drop all the way down. I missed it probably by like what, 20 cents. I said it could drop all the way down to 17 before we'd see any like major bounce back into the mid 20s. That's exactly what might be the case, but we need like Bitcoin and Ethereum to go up like another 10% or so. Like Bitcoin back to 74, Ethereum back to like, let's look at see what Ethereum's at. We'd need Ethereum to cross back over 2000, probably like from here, I don't know, 2200 would be ideal. Um, yeah. Any hood options plays before earnings that you like? Um, Let me take a look. Let me go look at NASDAQ one more time. Look at Qs. Oh, it came right back down. Well, still the same scenario here with the break of the bottom of the opening range. Hood. Go back to hood. Um, we think the hood reversal is sustainable, or sorry, any hood options placed before earnings that you like. I mean, when are earnings? The 10th. I'm not sure. I mean, the momentum down right now is pretty strong, and from like a momentum, because you all know that I'm a momentum trader. I trade based on momentum. This is a tough one. I really don't know what to do with it. I'm more of a, I guess I'd say in with Hood's case, I'm more of a react after earnings. I would be curious. I don't want to gamble on pre-earnings. I'm more of a react after earnings. If it pumps, great. I caught some at the bottom. If it dumps, that already wouldn't be good considering Bitcoin's been down so much. But if it dumps, that could be the opportunity to add some more shares like in the high 60s. Um, I think with Hood's case, I'm more of a will react after. I would react afterwards on Hood. Um, in general, I think you remember yesterday I was going through my watch list here and just showing you all the complete sea of red. It's the very opposite today. We are in a complete sea of green. But the thing here is it could be a dead cat bounce today. Um, this is you just have to be really careful. I don't want you guys to go in and be like, "Oh, everything's up so much. I missed the bottom. Let's buy while, everything's up a crazy amount." I mean, would I buy more Hood today with it being up 11%? No, absolutely not. Especially considering the momentum down right now. Could it continue up from here? Absolutely. Could that have been the bottom? Sure. But I can't convince myself that today um, marks the bounce. I could be very wrong. I could be very wrong. This could be the bounce. I always preach on X. Hey, every dip is an opportunity. Even if the dip keeps dipping, the stock market is built to go up. Like, I need to explain this. I don't know how I can explain this to people, especially the bears that just want the market to go down. You all do realize that the stock market is built to go up, right? Like it's built to gain value. A company exists to gain value. If the company financials and everything are still looking good, like in Hood's case, it's built to go up. That's how it works. So don't think that, oh, we're going to catch the top and it's going to eternally go down. No, not how it works at all. Um, yeah, that's just my opinion. Let's go take a look at. I wanted to look at some more entries for like longer term stuff. One that I was looking earlier before the stream started was Celsius. Yeah, Celsius has been on a downtrend. It filled this gap right here after its disgusting drop um, from earnings. Uh, I think that was back in what, November? Yeah, that was back in November. That was an awful drop. That was 30%. Filled the gap, coming back down. But I think that this could actually be. I think this could be a nice dip here to buy. It could be worth it for sure. Let's take a look at. Yeah, and like I said, any tickers you guys want me to look over, just let me know in the chat. Yeah, so so am I. I'm drinking the peach vibe, sparkling white peach edition. This has been my favorite flavor recently. Um, I don't know why, but I do like Celsius's. Celsius and White Monster. That's like my two things. White Monster for going to the gym. Uh, Celsius for just like my casual, I don't know, just if I need energy. I rarely drink. It's crazy because I used to drink coffee like as a kid all the time. And then as I got older, and especially once I started like trading and spending long nights charting, I got addicted to drinking Celsius for some reason. Uh, so yeah, let's see. The play, yeah, that's a good one too. I think I've tried every flavor. I think I have. I don't know. I need to go on like I don't know, like trying every Celsius flavor streak. Um, Nasdaq back up here again, by the way. Still nothing unless we cross over the R1. So just keep that in mind. Oh man, I might be going for it right here. We'll see. We'll see. I'm up 65, 74, 80, 92 bucks right now. I might trim. I might cut the other one that I hold. Yeah, so let me switch over the screen for you guys. I'm actually going to trim one of these right now. Because why not? We'll close one. Let's see if we can get filled at 109. If not, then I'll just have to fill it a little lower, which is fine. Yeah, I might have to go a little lower. That's okay. Okay, that's like 100 bucks. That's all good. I'm fine doing that. What was the other one? KMI. Let me take a look at KMI for you. Yeah, I'm still in KMI. They're still sitting in the money. Let me take a look at HIMS. Oh yeah, so I just filled at 109 by the way for the Nasdaq calls or the QQQ calls. I'll probably trim another one at like 130. Let me alert that in the Discord for you all. That was at 109 by the way. So if you've been following me, go ahead and trim some. It's like sitting at 108 right now. definitely worth trimming. I mean, it dropped all the way to 44. These were light. I didn't have a stop loss. It's Friday. Um, you know, crazy things happen on Fridays. Man, if I can, there we go. Okay, so I just alerted that for you guys. Give me 1 second. How's everyone doing? I should make like an X poll on this. How did everyone do this week, like overall, um, with this drop? Because I mean, yeah, you could argue that it was unexpected, and then you could also argue that it was expected. But I want to know how you guys did. Uh, there were some great opportunities to buy dips this week, especially in crypto. If you trade crypto, I didn't think Bitcoin was going to go to zero this week, obviously. There was a bounce. I said that yesterday that there was going to be a bounce coming. It was obvious. Um, but yeah, I want to know how the rest of you guys did. Let's see. Starting to dislike the weekends. Some BS always gets it. That's the problem. Is it seems like every weekend there is some announcement that just screws the market over every single time. It really is so frustrating. Whether it's from, Trump or Congress or just some other nation doing some bullshit. I mean, it really is getting frustrating how often these things happen on the weekends. Um, Nasdaq taking a dip, it didn't cross back over. I mean, I took a nice trim there, but it did not get over that pivot. I still want that new high of day. We'll see if they'll give it to me. Ooh, that was a fat red candle, dude. Damn. Got smashed. Tricky week. Green but long first month and first week of February. Yeah, it's historically February is actually miserable. Um, for like trading. You have periods of chop and then just absolutely crazy volatility. I think February, I was looking somewhere, was like the most unpredictable month out of the year. What was that instant drop on spot? Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know what that single red candle was. That was pretty wild. Um, that was weird. Not gonna lie. Up 20% of the moment. Nice. Very good. Nvidia was a great buy opportunity. Yeah, Nvidia was a fantastic buying opportunity. I think the next one is obviously Amazon. I think Amazon's the next great buying opportunity. But yeah, Nvidia was a fantastic dip yesterday and the day before. Um, did go with SLV, MSTR shorts. Oh, you were in MSTR shorts? That's awesome. You probably made a fat chunk of money. MSTR is up 16% today. That's due to crypto. Um, but shorts like all week. Let's see, since Monday, you would have caught it at what, 147, and it went all the way down like 100. I mean, you caught a nice fat, let's see, like minus 30% move, which is great. That's pretty good. Uh, let's see. Trump, Congress, Bitcoin, but yeah, they like to give us volatility. I don't mind it. Speaking of volatility, let's take a look at the VIX. VIX yesterday got up to 20, 21, um, 22 actually. Sitting back at 19 right now. Uh, let's see. What do I think of GLD move today? Like I said, I think GLD gold's up 3% right now. It's not the low GLD. This isn't the lowest for GLD, obviously, but um, I think it would be safe to assume that we chop for a little bit before a move. which is good. By the way, those Nasdaq calls are back over 100. I'm light in that, so. Congress buys sells on Friday and does some shit over the weekend every single time. I don't know why it's every single time. They really enjoy screwing us over, I guess. Um, oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, in the Discord. Nice. Sims looks like man, you caught all of them. Kenvu, KMI, KHC, and TSLL. Nice, very nice. 20% in a single week. That's amazing for a portfolio. Great job. Great job. Let's look over Insider Mother Fight. Yeah, it's Pelosi. It's Pelosi, man. She knows her shit. I don't know why you're calling her an insider, Sells like a week and a half. Sells PayPal a week and a half before the drop. It was like a week and a half, yeah. Like a week and a half before the drop. She knew exactly what she was doing. Let's see. Robin shares. I've never even heard of this company. Oh, it's not a company. It's the yeah. These are dangerous because they're leverage. Runners went crazy on those. NBIS is up 8%. Yeah, but it had what, minus 17% yesterday. Let's see. Oh, it's up 9% actually. Nice. Yeah, I think yesterday I had like oh, it only had a 10% drop. Which one am I thinking of? Because I mentioned yesterday, I think during the live stream yesterday, it was down at what, 75 during the live stream? And it only dropped like another dollar. And I said that this was a good potential buy for a double bottom here. I guess that still could be the case. Stacked them on at least yesterday, but yeah, that's a nice. Yeah, you bought a nice dip. I mentioned it at 75. So if this does pull off a double bottom, that's perfect. Good job. Okay, okay, hello. Oklo. Um, yeah, I used to earlier this year, early January. I actually caught a really nice the 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 top up here, and I started shorting it in early January. I cut way too early, but I don't think we've seen the top for Oklo. I think there's more. I somehow lost on Kenvu and KMI. I got in right when you did it. I lost only $6 per position, but seemed to have been going down. Was it due to, did you cut early or? Because if you cut early, that might be the case. It looks like it's flirting with a breakout too, which is good. Currently up 700% on Starbucks calls. Starbucks had that big of a move? When did you enter those? I'm curious when you entered those Starbucks calls. Was it down here? Did you get in the lows like over here? 72 or 92, 93? Because that would make sense then. AA puts 200% 0 DTE. Is it drop? Yeah. Wait. How do I feel about puts on PEP? Let's take a look. Like for 0 DTE puts or further out, because that would be a big difference. Because if you're going for their outputs, I would say no, absolutely not. I wouldn't. But if you're looking at just like today, um, could be the move. Wait, I mean, on the shorter term, you're back below the opening range top and this pivot right now. But you have to wait. You got in on Monday with Starbucks. Yeah, that makes sense then. So you cut that move from like to 92 to 98. That's great. Yeah, good job. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq. I'm not sure if it's sitting above 602 right now or 603, which is like this pivot. I still want that move up here though. I still want new high of day. I might just trim more. It's 109 again. We'll see. Let me look at those. What are those KMI calls worth right now? Yeah, so Nasdaq, the Qs are back to the top of the opening range. By the way, TSLL calls are up to 1.56. If you didn't trim, you could probably trim now. I think Tesla just broke its opening range. Yeah, so Tesla, the TSLL is now above R2 resistance. And remember that these TSLL calls are for way out in March. So if these can go in the money sometime next week, that would be awesome. There's about another like 4% to go in the money from here. I think Tesla's still below 400. Oh no, they're back above 400. Okay, that's nice. I said that yesterday that it was crucial. Tesla needed to get back above 400 quick. Do you think Iron bounces back? Iron was the one that took a bad drop. That was the one I was thinking of. Yeah. Because from Iron's high yesterday, we dropped 17%. Yeah, 17, 18%. Do I think Iron bounces back after this week's bloodbath? I said this one had yesterday. I said this one had an opportunity, but I said I feel like it has a little further down to go to like the mid 30s, and this was the reason why right here. Do I think it's a good dip buying opportunity? Yeah, absolutely. Do I like the fact that all of X is hyping it up? No. What do I think of Riot? Riot's kind of in the same boat as Mara. Uh, been suffering with crypto. It's up 16% today. This area here is some good support. Um, if it holds, we go back up to 19. We'll see. We'll see with this one. The MACD isn't looking so good on the daily. That's giving some nice momentum down. But I mean, that's with crypto overall. What was the Tesla calls? I didn't play the Tesla calls. I played the TSLL calls. Whoa, not that one. It's weird. I played the TSLL calls. That's the one I played. Right here. Where are the calls posted? I post them on Discord. The link is in my YouTube bio. Let's go back over to Qs. I think it might be just chopping right now. Yeah, so it's like chopping right at the top of the opening range here. We'll see what it does. NVIDIA. Let's go to NVIDIA. NVIDIA's doing well. Said I was looking at Celsius earlier. Yeah, I'm watching this one for an entry today. Um, and this is now 10%. I bought the dip and earnings call on February 12th. Should I sell now or wait for another dip to buy before the earnings call? It depends on how much you're up, honestly. At least from a lot of you ask how I manage my positions before earnings if I'm green. My Well, what I always do is I tend to not hold anything heavy into earnings, obviously. Yeah, but it's on a nice move right now. I wouldn't like going into earnings. You shouldn't be holding any more than I would say like 20% of what you entered with, and that's 20% is even pushing it. Uh, let's see. Stacked 180 on Tesla and 170 on QQQ. Nice, nice, nice. Any early Super Bowl leans? I'm not gonna lie, I hate the Patriots. I hate the Patriots so much. Is Drake May good? Yeah. No, he's not taking MVP. He is gonna win the MVP. That's what sucks. It sucks because he's gonna win the MVP. Um, I hate the Patriots. If this is the beginning of another like dynasty, I'm literally gonna lose it. I can't. I can't deal with another Patriots dynasty. I'm a Bills fan. You guys already all know that. Um, Over 70% of betting money's on Seahawks spread. Yeah, it's true. It is. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna bet Seahawks just because I don't want the Patriots to win. But man, it sucks that the Patriots are even here. Thoughts on swinging IWM put? Let me take a look. It depends on how far out. I need to know how far out because this is a really dangerous one to short. Out of all the indexes, the Russell is the most dangerous in my opinion. And if, in case you're wondering, that is a bull flag right there. So kind of a steep bull flag, but it is still a bull flag. Um, if we let's look how like I want to see how the candle on the monthly close for January. Yeah, it like that. Nothing. There's nothing too bearish really on that. You're looking at March puts. So you're looking at like probably next month. Yeah, so it's dangerous, but I mean, if you're gonna look into the way this one has constantly been on every dip, I mean, look right here, dipped, dipped, dipped. Good chance that could happen again. I mean, you really could it keep going down? Yeah, absolutely. Could this be a market top temporarily? Absolutely. Anything is possible. Oh, so you're looking at like later March. Yeah, I mean, you would probably want to stop out if we cross 270 again. So it's like an $8 move up on IWM. If we break out, like if you enter shorts today, this is the way I would manage it if you had to go short. If you're gonna go short long term, you would wait for um to stop out, you would probably want to wait for like a breakout here from the bull flag. If it does break out, then it invalidates any short position. Then you'd want to obviously exit, and then you probably wouldn't lose much considering that they're farther out. Um, but yeah, I mean, considering how the market's been dipping, it's not entirely. I wouldn't say that's a goofy trade to try and go short, but you are kind of playing against what normally happens with these Russell dips. KHC could go here. Let me take a look at KHC. Yeah, they're up to. Yeah, you're right. It could break the opening range here. It's back up to the opening range high. If it breaks, then that should send us to 2480 is what I'm seeing. 2480 would be the spot. Um, I think the calls are back up to a 0.24. Yeah, they're back up to 0.24 again, which I think that's even off because the spread's saying that they're up to 0.26. The high today is 0.28, so it's 40%. Um, mm, Stafford won the MVP last night. Oh, well, that's nice. As long as it's not May, that's all I care about. Super Bowl MVP though, yeah, it's probably gonna be Drake May, especially if the Patriots win. It'll be Drake May. Can you please explain the indicator you have on the top? Thanks. That's the MACD. This is the MACD indicator. MACD is it helps with understanding momentum, and the crossovers show shifts in momentum. That's really what it's there for. Let's go back to the NASDAQ and see if we're going to make a new high or what. Still sitting there. Still chilling. Cons are still at 0.95. I might just place the stop loss at break even on these, which would be like back down to the pivot if it doesn't break. Because the problem is here we got two issues here. We got yesterday's high, and we got the top of the opening range. I mean, the opening range looks like this morning was based off of rejection off the high, but I mean, still, depending on how you look at it, those are two separate resistances in a way. Um, but yeah, like the break even here would actually be like a drop to like back down to 603. So it would be worth holding until we got down to the break even. It's like sitting right at the opening range though, so it could break either way. If bears step in here, you'll see a larger drop because I could argue also this is a rising wedge, which is very pro-bearish in a way. Yeah, check that out. If it invalidates, it makes a new high of day. But that is like that's a rising wedge right there. You could use bears could use that as fuel. Let's look at Wolf. Wolf. Terrorwolf. Terrorwolf is up 17% today off of yesterday's lows. Let's look at the long term. It's been a really long time since I've traded this one. Yeah, so I think I made this post on X a while ago about this trend line support. I think I made this back in December. Yeah. Or when did I make? No, I made this in January. From like a charting perspective, as long as it holds the trend line support, it's bullish. And then you would eventually see it break out over 1620, 1630, I think. Um, Technically, it's bullish. Technically. XLP, any retrace for this piece. Let me see. I have news for you. Especially as like inflation and possible recession looms, this one tends to still stay up and continue. So especially with like market uncertainty, like this one still will continue grinding higher. MACD, especially here in the daily, still saying more highs, obviously. Is a retrace possible? Yeah, for sure. Because we're up, especially since January, since the lows in January this year, we're up 15%, which is a lot for an ETF, obviously. But if we do have a retrace, we would probably see a move back down to, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me pull out my fibs. back down to like 82, within 82. Thoughts on CoreWeave? Check out CoreWeave. By the way, I think I'm going to cut another NASDAQ I'll get back to CoreWeave in just a second. We're above the opening range right now and sitting right at yesterday's high. This is a big spot. If it breaks here, then we see new high of day quick. If it doesn't, then we drop back into the opening range. So we'll see. If you're going to go short, this would also be the spot to potentially take a shot at shorts. But we are above the opening range for now. For now. Let me go back to CoreWeave. No, not that one. CoreWeave. CoreWeave is up 15% today. Yesterday's low was 74, I think, 75, 74. The problem here is we're below this trendline resistance, or trendline support, which now obviously turns into resistance. That's a big issue for CoreWeave. What it could do is test it here and then go lower. So like test and then back down. How much farther down? It could drop to like probably right here. The support. So not too much, but like probably like down to like 64 is possible. KMI. Let's go back over to KMI real quick. KMI is still sitting right at the strike price. I still got it, so we'll see. We'll see how this one plays out. See how KHC is doing. Still sitting there at the top as well. If you still have Macy's from earlier this week, you should already be out of those. MPT, honestly, should be out of those already as well. I closed those yesterday, my runners. IGV. I think it's a tech sector, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that is really beaten down, especially like since I think January, November. Oh, since October, late October. It's down 30%. I mean, it's pretty standard it looks like across the board, pretty standard for all of tech right now is about minus 30% for almost everything tech. Do you think calls on Amazon are a good option? Leaps, yeah. I do. I think Amazon Leaps could be nice. I mean, we're already up from when did I start the live stream? It was at 202, and I said we should be buying. We're back up to 205. We hit 206. Yeah, I think for Leaps, it's a good buying opportunity for Leaps. Let's go back over to the Nasdaq. So yeah, the Nasdaq rejected that high right there, obviously. We'll see if this pivot holds. If it doesn't hold, then we would see a drop back down to the bottom of the opening range. It really does depend on how we behave with this pivot here. But the drop's pretty. You could have seen that because it was a rising wedge right here. That's why I mentioned that, because this is a pretty standard bearish setup. But we need to see how it behaves here at the at this pivot, because if it falls below the pivot and holds, should pretty quickly see the bottom of the opening range. What was the other one? What was I looking at? Amazon. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see with Amazon. we got over here. Take a look at Hood. Hood's still up. Hood's holding nicely. Up 12% right now. I think Energy's also having a really nice day. XLE's up 2%, which is nice. Airline stocks are up. Pretty much everything is up right now. Let's look over what is red. Some energy like EPD is obviously red right now. NLY is red. Piton is red. I'm actually glad I closed those at break even on, what was it? So Wednesday. I sold these such perfect timing before earnings, right at break even, because I did not want to swing that into break even. And then sure enough, we dumped 25%, I think, the next day. So yeah. Let's see. Pins is obviously down today. Tiva is down ever so slightly. Kenvu just went red, still above 18. ABR is red, and that's pretty much all we got for red on my watch list. On the NASDAQ, yeah, no. So like I said, the pivot here is what will determine that. If you're going for like a solid, if you're looking for solid directional play, you need to wait for a break above the opening range or a break below the opening range. That would give you like a solid directional. And I'll zoom out here so you can see the better picture. If the NASDAQ decides to have any moves outside the opening range today, you would want to target to the upside R2, which would be like 609 is what you'd want to target. To the downside, you'd want to target yesterday's low, which is like 594. So it's about, give or take, an $8 move in either direction from where we're at currently. That would be what you'd look for. I'm not sure if we're gonna we'll be as volatile today as yesterday. But that would be, so for a break from the top of the opening range, you would target 609. A break down, you would target 594. That would be your two spots to watch. Yeah. Another 195 on Q's puts. Very nice. Good job. Yeah, like I said, it was the top right there. So bouncing here. Yeah, so right now it's not really smart to. You're still in the opening range, and I don't like taking stuff within the opening range. I like direction, solid direction. This is a pure example of why it can be risky taking trades within the range. Let's go back over to KHC. KHC still sitting at the top there. Thoughts on RZL? Oh, I'm sorry. Which time frame do you look at for the orb? 5 minute, 15 minute, or something? It's the first 15 minutes is what I like to look at. You take the first 15 minutes, and then that's your opening range, and then you take your plays based on which way it breaks on the 5 minute time frame. Is what I use. Look over at the Russell real fast. I think the Russell might make another high of day. It's outside its opening range. Small caps are doing well right now. Any thoughts on RZLV? RZLV. RZLV is up 16%. This is really a gamble. Could argue this is a double bottom here. It very well could be. Um, if it does hold, I mean, MACD's not saying right now, MACD's below the zero line, but we could see a curve, and then you would want to target $5 right here. If you want to gamble and say that this is a potentially a bounce from the bottom, like it would be safe to add shares here, and then maybe add more shares at like 220, and then you would stop loss with a daily candle close below like 215. 220 is the absolute lowest you would buy shares here, though. Nothing lower than that because it would invalidate the setup. Any thoughts on VMC? Let me take a look at VMC. Vulcan Materials Company. VMC has had really nice momentum so far this year. Today, candle obviously is really nice. I think it's an all-time high on VMC. Yeah, that's an all-time high. Uh, it's just really expensive. And I think the leaps, last I checked like a week ago, the leaps on this one was like really pricey. But I mean, it's bullish. Yeah. With the snowstorm, from possibility of going longer on them with pending road repairs, all the dangers still have to be damages that have to be repaired and construction looking to tick up this year. Yeah, it's true. I mean, there will be construction this year. We're not in a recession yet, so no question in the continuation of constructing new infrastructure. Yeah, it's bullish. I just don't know how much higher before a pullback. Um, let's go back to the NASDAQ. Man, I really want this to break so I can actually take a solid position. Might be headed back up to the top of the opening range here. Honestly, we could just see chop within the opening range for the rest of the day. I mean, we're what, an hour and a half into market open already. We'll see. The market hasn't even, yeah, we're up 1%. I wouldn't say the market's picked a direction yet, though. Just because we're up 1% doesn't mean that we've found direction to the upside. Yeah, of course. It's hard enough learning all the lingo to figure out even companies' traits. The lingo I use is pretty basic. Calls, puts, expiration dates. Um, I have a whole section on Discord called Getting Started, and it literally starts you off from like absolutely nothing, um, and helps you pretty much get going from there. What should I sell my Ondas call for? It depends on what your calls are. That's of course up to you on where you want to sell that. Um, it depends on which Ondas call you have. If you have like calls for today and you entered here on the dip, I would obviously say you should have trimmed by now. But yeah, isn't I don't know. Are you new to watch? I'm new to watching the stream. What platform are you using here? This is TradingView. Yeah, you're looking at me using TradingView. Um, for like charting platforms, TradingView is goated. I obviously don't like taking many trades on Fridays. It's just risky. Fridays are really risky to trade. It's just sometimes not worth it. Everything like unless Fridays I like to take new like swing plays and setups going into the next week. I rarely ever trade like zero DTE just because I know a lot of you, and especially some of the newer traders, like don't know how to or don't want to trim. You want to see like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000% gains on Fridays, which is almost impossible. So I just prefer playing safe and entering new swings going into the next week. About yeah, about 5 contracts for Oh, today for 0.07. Yeah, you should already be. I like to play the 20 to 30% rule. You should be already up 20 to 30%. I mean, we're breaking what on loss is up to 9.25. I'm assuming you bought the 9.5 calls. Let me take a look. ONDS. Let me see. Yeah, I'm assuming about the 9.5 calls. Those are up, I think. If you bought them at 0.7, 0.09 is 20%. Um, need some leap plays. Yeah, I'll be entering some leap plays today. Only on stuff that I feel like don't have like a dead, I think that don't have a dead cat bounce. Like one is Broadcom. I mentioned yesterday Broadcom was solid throughout this entire drop. I mean, look at that. Broadcom really hasn't taken too hard of a hit um, over the past few days, and I like that. I think that's good. QQQ testing 605 again. Let's see. Yeah, is it back up again at the top of the range? Yeah, so back up at the top of the range again. Back up to yesterday's high. Means absolutely nothing unless we break it, because it could be once again another opportunity for shorts here, um, as a pure gamble, obviously. Um, but it means nothing unless we break yesterday's high. Let's take a look at KHC. These calls are still in the money. I wanted this to break the opening range. Why are they risky? The Ondas calls? Because it's or Friday calls in general. I mean, Ondas Friday calls in general are really risky because it's 0 days to expiration. They move like literally an insane amount in hardly any time. I mean, you could watch thousands disappear in literally 10 seconds. 0DT is not a joke. Like, imagine if you're new to this, especially if you're watching the stream and you're new and you want to understand like with the 0DTEs. I'm assuming you all know what like 0DTE like QQQ trades are, right? Or S&P 5 SPX or SPY, how quickly those move. Now imagine that across the entire market for every single ticker you trade. That's why Fridays are risky. Speaking of Starbucks 700%, these Frappuccino drinks are pretty good. Theta is a killer on 0DTE. Yes, that is true. Theta is a bitch, as they say. Those QQQ calls are back up to 1.02. Those are lottos. I literally only hold one con. So if it goes to zero, it's not going to be the end of the world because I already profited like $70 on the other two I was holding. Love these live discussions. Yeah, I'm going to be doing these more often, if not every day throughout the week. I think it's nice for you guys to have the opportunity to actually just discuss and we do analysis over charting. Like, for example, today, like I haven't even taken, I mean, the only trade I took was at 30% Q's calls earlier, but for the most part, like I would like to spend my Friday just charting, um, going over potential possibilities, good setups going into the next week. Uh, you don't have to trade every single day. Um, Plus, I'm being really extra cautious today because I don't necessarily trust this market bounce across the board. It could be a dead cat bounce. It's risky. So I just prefer sitting here on live and doing some charting with you all. It's a lot more fun too. ISPC pulling back. Well, is it still green for me? Let's see. Okay, those QQQ calls are now up to 1.30. See if I can get at 125. Okay, I got at 125. The calls are up to 1.30. Let me go on. Let me go back here. Yeah, so it's new. Like I said, new high of day on the Nasdaq. Was expecting this. We'll see if it holds now. So we would need a break, and let me get the volume up here. We need some good volume on the break here. But if you had that last Q's con, go ahead and sell that lotto. That's a good win. We'll see if it holds up. Because I think from my average price from earlier, that's 60. Yeah, it's 60% gains from earlier, which is nice. It's a good win. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, ignore that on Discord. I had the wrong price. My bad. It's 30. So yeah, it broke 605, but you need it to hold now because just because we made a new high of day, it could pull off a double top here for the bears. That's why I said earlier it's really awkward. Check this out. Okay, I'll draw it in a box so you all understand easier. Top of the day, high of day right here. Then you have yesterday's high. Then you have this opening range, right? This zone right here, unless you exit this zone with good volume, it means nothing. So you need to exit that zone with volume. Yeah. See right now. I still have two of these. What are we at? 1, 2, 2. Let's see if I can get out my other one here. 1, 2, 5. We got a 1, 2, 5. See if we can get that one. Yep. Okay, we got that one. Nice. I got one more. So $50. We'll let that one run. I'll probably try to take a trim at like, let's see, new high. Yeah, new high day again. Cons are at 132. I'll probably try to take a trim at like 160 since it is my final lotto play. I'll see if I can get at 160. Might not happen, but I'll probably have like stop loss. I think. How much am I up on it though? Depends. Yeah, I'll probably try to get like 160. But that is a new high of day. Hold up 1 second. My sister's calling me. Probably is gonna ask for something. Okay, we are back. So it turns out, um, so obviously I mentioned earlier this morning in Discord that one of my good friends had their baby. I just have to go drop something special off for them. My sister was asking me to do her a favor. Of course, she was asking me to do something. It's all right. I don't mind my sister. She's all right. She takes good care of me every so often. Every so often. All right. Oops. Okay, so those Q's calls are obviously they're up to 1 point. I think they hit 1.4. Yeah, they had 1.4 or 1.34. My bad. Uh, we'll see if, like I said, I want like 150 to 160 is where I would consider probably taking my next trim. Actually, that would be my last trim. Oops. Okay. All right, let me pull up my chart. My sister only calls if she wants something too. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what sisters are there for, right? I can't really talk junk about my sister because she did take care of me growing up. Um, what is your trading rhythm? Example, what do you do pre-market, open, post-market, close? First thing I do, obviously, and I think a good majority of you already know this, the first thing I do is look at the opening ranges. I really don't take any trades until I see opening ranges on everything because I'm a directional trader. I like momentum, trading with momentum. I don't necessarily like trading like rejections, supports, and resistance. Like, yeah, I use them and they play them into my strategies, but I'm more of a momentum trader. Um, I like to react, not necessarily predict. Uh, post-market close. Post-market close, I always mark the highs and lows of the big stuff that I typically trade. Like I always mark the high and low of Qs, SPY, Nvidia and Tesla, and then a few other tickers that like have nice momentum that I was watching during the day. I'll chart those highs and lows out. What's nice too is recently I was able to, because ChatGPT is a wonderful tool, obviously, and I had ChatGPT help me code a an indicator that marks the highs and lows automatically. So like this zone right here that I showed you earlier, let me delete that box. The zone right here that I showed you earlier, that's coded in. That automatically marks the high, and then the low is automatically coded in right here. I then coded in for by the way, these indicators that I that I'm giving you, they're in my Discord. I have them listed under the learning section. It's called Clint's indicators. They're down there, and as I build more indicators, I'll add them in there as well. But basically, like the opening range here, you'll see that I coded this one to hold in the first 15 minutes right here. It's gray, so it's like my way of saying, hey, no trades until this is formed. And then you see it changes color after that. The difference is, I think somebody asked me this yesterday, the difference between like why today's showing green and yesterday was showing red. The green box indicates that we broke um, that the opening was higher than yesterday's close. That's what it means. The red means that the opening is lower than the previous day close. That helps because for like understanding basic opening range breaks, like today, with the fact that us opening above yesterday's low already gives me a bullish bias because I'm going to lean more on the side of an opening range break to the upside than I would to the downside. And same case for yesterday. Obviously, we took puts yesterday, if you remember, I think I took two plays actually on puts yesterday and made money. But for the most part, yesterday's moves on Qs was pretty much within the opening range the entire day. Um, Banked on the BP call you made, good stuff. Yeah, that BP call was massive. I think that was last week. That was a big play. Really good stuff there. Speaking of indicators, do you know if your indicator code works in Webull? No, it does not. It's Pine script. It's built for TradingView. Um, I don't even know if Webull has if they allow custom indicators to be created within their platform, like Python. I don't think they have the option to code. It's just I think all Webull uses is just basic indicators. I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't done enough research on like um, Webull indicators because I use TradingView for everything in Webull for actually opening and closing the options trades. Where in the Discord is the indicator again? It's in the learning section and it's called Clint's indicators. Both the free and the VIP can see it, so it's available to everybody. Um, okay, calls are at 142 now, 144, 146. I'm gonna close here at 146. Yeah, I closed at 146. That one runner. It might go higher, but I just don't want to hold these calls anymore because I think they hit a high of 149 so far. I mean, that's close enough. I'll take it. Yeah, 153 now. Okay, so we're right in the area where I said I wanted to trim 155. 160. There we go. 160. There was my target. 162. Nice. Let me show you my Webull screen. So you can see it here. Yeah. 162 is the high. You can close out here at 160. Nice trade. That should be it's 100%, I believe. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. 100% on the upside break. Leave if you're still in. Leave runners only. Entirely up to you. I hope I kept you all on the right side because I've been holding these calls since I think since the beginning of that opening. Or no, actually, I entered these calls. Let me switch back my screen here. Back here at this pivot. And then I averaged down way down here back at 600 when Qs hit 600. And then I had four cons. I'm trading really light today. It's like a criminal how light I'm trading. But I'll take it. By the way, Sol is up 26% in the last 17 hours. That's crazy. That means it's up 26% from my entry. I just got the Robinhood notification. That's why I'm randomly bringing that up. Because I think 85 is 25% of 68. 68.50 is where I got in. Yeah, it's like 25%. If you took that with me yesterday, you should be trimming at least probably a quarter of your position. It's a crypto trade, obviously, so it's risky and volatile. Got out of KHC with 25% gains. Nice, good job. I think KHC is back. Yeah, it's back below, which is fine. I made money on it this morning. That's all I care about. It's still an ISPC. Yeah, I still have it. Your first day on the VIP, a lot of learning, maybe a single trade. Maybe not, since you don't do much on Fridays, which makes sense. Looking forward to make that. Yeah, welcome to the team. I'm going to be doing my best to live stream every day. I think it's nice for everybody because it's just easier for you all to watch me do the trades in real time. And actually, yesterday and earlier on Tuesday when I ran the live stream, seems like everybody was able to execute their plays a lot easier as well, um, with you all just watching me on the screen and me like announcing it real time instead of you guys having to rely on a Discord notification, which is great. That's exactly why I would continue doing this. Picked up IBIT stock yesterday. I mean, it depends on where you got in IBIT yesterday. Well, actually, it doesn't matter where you got in yesterday. It's green right now. I don't have them anymore. I had I think it was the 35 call or the 39 call. I gotta look again, but they're green up to zero. Yeah, they just hit 0. Let me switch you back over to my Webull screen. They hit 0.79. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you got in yesterday because the low yesterday was 0.21. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you got in. If you got in where I alerted, which was let me look at the exact price yesterday when I got in. I got in at 55 yesterday, and I ended up making 55% of those because it climbed up to 0.85. I'll show you where I trimmed. It was around here yesterday is where I trimmed. I think actually it was this high right here is when I closed the majority of my position over here, and then it ended up going a little higher to 0.90. Um, But if you entered those like IBIT like any time after I alerted, you're green. So good job there. Good job. MSTR is up 20%. Yeah. Stinking Michael Saylor. Yeah, it's up 20% today. It's just due to the crypto move up. The Nasdaq's almost back above 25K. Like it better than Discord. I'm glad you do. Yeah, that's why I would keep doing this. Discord would be there just as like an extra for you guys to look over the history of my trading and actually use it as to look at the exact like when I got in, um, how I managed it, because I'll just give like the overall there. Are you live streaming daily and this for Discord members only? No, because I posted on X as well, so it's open to everybody. Everybody can join. Um, yeah, I mean obviously I am going to cater towards those who are in my Discord first, obviously. Um, but it is open to everybody. Speaking of X, let's see if anybody's. Because I know you guys randomly sometimes ask me questions on X, and I want to respond to everybody's questions. Played both sides and made some money. Hey, that's how you do it. If you can make money going both ways, then that is the way to do it. Of course, it's risky, but um, still can't find. Is KMI cooked? Let me check KMI again. That might be the only sad play of the week. Let's see. Actually, well, depends. This is yesterday's highs. Remember I told you about that indicator. Yesterday's highs. Um, maybe I'll add. Let me see what they're at right now. It depends on where these are at. There is 0.5. 0.05. I might add, not officially adding yet, but could be worth a shot. I'll keep an eye on that one. I'm still in it. Kind of really, yeah. I mean, the stock market is limitless. That's the best part about the stock market. It is limitless. Let's go back over to the Nasdaq. So the target to the upside from a opening range perspective, because it would target 0.5% off of an opening range break, it would be 607 would be the spot. So it's about another 50 cents up after this bounce right here. And then we'd probably want to start looking at going short. By the way, in case like if the Nasdaq runs up 2% today, that would not be weird at all. Considering the volatility and how much we've already been down, I would not be surprised if it just goes 2% for absolutely no reason. I mean, you already got some big names that are up crazy right now, but I don't think we get any higher than like I mentioned earlier, like 609. I don't think it goes any higher than 609 today, personally. That would be like the max for longs. Are you in something that can still be buy here? No, I've closed a lot of my positions already. I'm starting off next week pretty fresh, which is great because considering how much the market has dropped this week, I actually had a phenomenal performance overall. And a lot of that was due to me taking less positions this week and really just managing what I had already. There were some that didn't do so well. Like Peloton, I did close Peloton at break even. I missed out on the Caesars move, obviously, the CZR play. Because I closed. I'm sure a lot of you in the stream actually probably still had that when I closed it, because I closed it like 10 minutes before close on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday the stock shot up 10% right here, right here, and the calls that I originally had went up like 80% or something. So I know a lot of you have made money on it because you posted it in the profits channel, but that kind of sucked for me. Do we gain access here through Discord? It's actually through Discord and X. I post it in both places. Tell us about Soul and how you picked it. The reason why I picked Soul is, number one, I think Soul has a better case for a rebound compared to Bitcoin. But honestly, this was due to Solana being so oversold yesterday and worse than Bitcoin. Like I thought Bitcoin was already down really bad, and yeah, minus 10%. I think that was the first day Bitcoin's ever had, or not the first day, or like the first day in the last 10 years or something. I can't remember where I saw that post. That it's had like a minus 10% day. Solana was down 25% yesterday. A quarter of Solana's value was down yesterday. That was I couldn't figure that out. So the reason why I went long is because if you go back, let me go back to the monthly. There's a support in here. I have to go back to the day. Right here, right here, in this zone. 66 to 68 is a really strong support. Obviously, it paid off because we're up another 20. I mean, we've almost rebounded entirely from about another $4 up, and we would have fully rebounded on Solana, which is nice. I don't know. It's crypto. I don't go too heavy in crypto, but it's nice to make a gain on these here and there for fun. PayPal, what do you think? Let me look at it. Bought some shares at 43. Posted that on X and Discord. What was it? The day of earnings, which was Tuesday. I bought it at 43. It's down to 40 right now, so I'm down. I haven't checked the official, so I'm down like 7% of my position right now. I'm not going to add. I probably really won't add until we'd see a drop further down to like 30, the mid 30s. But yeah, do you hold any penny stocks or are they day trades? The majority of them are day trades. I'm a day trader. I like stuff. I like to get in stuff quick and get out of stuff. And then of course, unless I mention otherwise, um, I will also do swings. Um, Here we go. The Nasdaq hit that target just now of 67, as I mentioned earlier. So now you would potentially start looking at some short positions. Those calls hit, let me see the calls on QQQ. I'm going to be ending the stream here in a second, but before I do, those calls hit 160 again. They are back up to 165, I think is the high on these. A break here of 67 would send us to 609. So it's about another 0.3% up. So you could be looking at close to almost a 2% day on the Nasdaq. We'll see. This would be one of the strongest points of a reversal, though, here at 607. So do keep that in mind. The chances of us going higher are really starting to get slimmer and slimmer. Is Kenvu cooked? I don't know. I only hold runners. I took a trim. I don't think it's cooked. I mean, it's red. If we saw a percent move up, which I think it did yesterday, where it just randomly started moving up again with good volume, because there's like hardly any volume on it so far this morning. If it catches volume, those calls could go back to 0.25, 18.25, the pivot right here. Why are your option plays all inexpensive as far as stocks go? It really depends, because if you go like, let me give you an example. If you look at some of my plays, they are sometimes pricey, they're sometimes cheap. It really just depends on what I choose. I don't look and be like, oh, this option contract is cheap. It, there's a lot of my Qs plays that are really expensive, that are almost all around like 100 bucks a con. I mean, look at the Ondas call I took was like at around 100. Trying to see what else today. I mean, when I entered the first contract of the Q's calls, that was up 0.99. But yeah, what are your rules? My rules for trimming are always 20 to 30%, always. Options or stock on PayPal? Stock, not options right now. If you want to go with leaps, I mean, you can do that, but I'm entering shares. Seems to be like cents as opposed to dollars. Yeah, it is. It's cents opposed to dollars. Like the contract value is cents, but you really realistically pay in dollars because every contract represents 100 shares of the stock price. So it's showing cents, but it's actually dollars. I have a guide on that explaining that in Discord. It's under the options guide channel. I have a secret. I work at Kenvu. I don't believe you. Wait, no, you're being for real? That's crazy. Huh. Interesting. Do me a favor, go pump the stock. If you work there, go pump it. Go say something wild. I have the 2.5 call and bull I picked up yesterday for cheap. How cheap is Weeble right now? 6.3. Insider trailing or derail it. Go pump that shit. Go say something really positive. Tweet something wild. I'll repost it on X. Credible source. I swear it's credible. He works there. He knows it. Let's go back to the NASDAQ. I'll be back on later, by the way, for some live trading. This one I'll obviously record and keep in the YouTube, so you guys can go back and look at some of my charting. I like to every so often go back and mention like some of the stuff I said from the previous day. So for those of you that hate me and don't believe me, you can just go back and look at these videos and see that I was telling the truth about price targets. But yeah, it looks like bulls could be really winding down here. I could be wrong, but they look like they're starting to wind down on the NASDAQ. Let me look at SPY real fast. I think SPY was a little stronger than the NASDAQ today. SPY would have, if it would have a move up to 690. The Russell should be at new high of day as well. Yeah, Russell's doing well. Russell's up 3% today. That's expected because small caps seem to be doing way better than overall tech this year, which is great. Unbelievable. QQQ actually reached 607. Hey, I said it this morning. Did I not say it this morning? I said it at exactly like 7:50 something, right before, well, 7:50 my time. But I said it way earlier this morning that once we made, check it out, once we made this high right here and we rejected yesterday's high and we dipped down to this pivot, I said there's a good chance that we could return back up to high of day. Dipped a little further, added a little more, and then sure enough made high of day. He said it on the internet. It has to be true. Like I said, credible source, credible source. Q's losing momentum. Yeah, it's losing momentum here. It's starting to slow down. We'll see though. It could, out of nowhere, we could receive some volume, or Trump will say something wild. You never know. You really never know. Okay, well, let me look around real quick. FSL. Yeah, it's just really risky taking anything else right now, only because actually Dow is on some really nice momentum right now. That might be worth like trading into 75.45. But it's just really risky taking anything else today because it could be a dead cat bounce, honestly. It's okay to be patient. It's okay to sit out a Friday, you know. Like I always say, trade with ease. Which percentage of gains do you start trimming? My rule, especially if you've been watching me long enough, is 20 to 30%. 20 to 30% is my rule for trimming. I don't know why my screen went black earlier. That was weird. Um, do you stop loss quotes on your options trade? I do, yeah. So don't add to any positions is what you're saying. Uh, Not right now. Like for Kenvu, I'm assuming you're referring to. I haven't added yet. I don't know if I'll add. We'll see. The Nasdaq is rejecting here off of that resistance. We'll see if bears step in here. It really depends on whether bears step in or not. How about an averaging down rule? My averaging down rule really just applies to like the stock's momentum. If I see momentum failing, I'll exit. If it's not failing and it's just like a pullback, then I'll typically add it like a support or a resistance. Um, the averaging down really depends. Let's look into. I want to see if there's anything else going on later today. Go over to X real fast. Yeah, I don't think really anything else today. Yeah, just be careful if you're buying. I probably won't be back on until after market close. Um, just be careful on what you're buying today. Don't go all in because there's a good chance that it could just be a dead cat bounce and you could see a drop Monday or like a continuation of a drop next week. So it's really risky. So I would just say like for today, be really careful and limit the amount of positions you enter. Um, and for like the weaker stuff, it might be worth like starting to enter leaps like PayPal earlier. Um, but yeah, Fridays are risky and it's worth sometimes just sitting out, charting, especially today with the bounce. With that being said, I will see you all later. I will try to do more charting later this evening. If you have some stuff or financials you want me to look at, go ahead and put it in the Discord chats, mention me, and I will get to it. Yep. Catch you all later.